perhaps. So it's a conundrum as to what you give to Kuro right now.
Well, I think we can certainly say that Edge is going to be looking for the Varus in this game. And that would probably do pretty well for him, something that he can sit back and just try to harass as much as possible, but
ROX
you're
still
still
going
going...
to ban Varus.
Well, that's what I'm
They're
saying.
going to ban Varus. They like to ban Varus these days.
I said they're looking for it, not that they're going to get it, and there it is, first ban. Of course.
Yeah, that's been a really big priority ban for the ROX Tigers. And I was thinking about this because if we cast our minds back to last year, Kuro was one of the big Varus players. That's how the Tigers got a lot of their wins. And I said, okay, why doesn't ROX want to play this right now? And I think the answer is because it's not as efficient to roam on. And that's the play style that they've developed that has been so successful, is using these big mobility mid laners. And of course they're banning the Azir too because Kuro is really bad at playing it. And that has been pretty much perma-banned now. They banned Azir against CJ heavily, of course, with BDD, but I think that's just going to become the default ROX Tigers ban against all compositions. Give up the Poppy. Smab's still undefeated on that champion.
Yep. So Hippo going to snatch that one up for himself. But when you go undefeated on Poppy, you typically, in the process of being that good at her, learn how to play against her as well.
It's true.
So Smeb, going to know that champion inside and out, picks up the Nautilus. Could be a support for Gorilla, but Nautilus does do quite well into Poppy on the top side, so wouldn't be too surprised if we see Smeb just sticking with that one. And the Kindred goes through for Peanut. So another very aggressive jungler. He gets exactly what he wants.
Yeah, Graves, I think, taking away the Sivir is key to shutting down the Tigers at this point. If they don't take it, I'm sure Prey will take it in the next game because this composition is looking eerily similar to what we were seeing the ROX Tigers picking last week. I assume they will pick Lissandra in the next round of the draft. And then they will hold their final pick probably for the top lane to see if they want to flex that Nautilus or not. So Elise, though, with the Sivir, setting up for a bit of a pick composition here for the Kongdoo monster.
Yep. So Elise gets locked in, Sivir to follow. So like you said, not too surprising. She's just so strong. I think we saw her in almost... Did we see her in every game yesterday?
Yeah.
I think we did.
I don't remember for sure.
Oh,
but
wow.
All right, it will be the Trundle grab. So it looks like
Ashe.
it is going to be Trundle and Ashe in the duo lane. So big pick composition. I really think we're going to see the Lissandra last year or Twisted Fate.
Well, right now, Kongdoo playing around with this one now.
They have to take the Lissandra away. If you
Yeah.
give them the Ashe arrow and the Lissandra for engage, it's going to be brutal. They have enough of a front line already, so Twisted Fate.
Yep, Lissandra and Braum.
Cleanse Twisted Fate would be really strong here. I don't think it's going to be Kassadin. We've seen some Kassadin play, primarily from KT Rolster.
Just not very good of a champion at the moment. Used to be in the meta, used to be the unbalanceable one, and they still hold up to that as he is just almost unplayable at the moment.
I don't know if I think he's off
Very
meta.
very niche pick.
But I do think they're going to lock it.
Wow,
I was going
wow.
to say, I do think it's good in this composition. You have the ability to farm relatively safely against Lissandra using your Q to get that
Spell
shield,
yeah.
and you have the TP. And again, it's been about the ROX Tigers playing high mobility mid laners and roaming. And they will be able to engage from an exceptionally long distance with this composition, and then have the Kassadin follow up with the Rift Walk. So I like what we're seeing actually from the ROX Tigers. I'm a notorious Kassadin hater, but if it's ROX, it's going to work for them because of how they play the game. It's also going to give them a nice split push presence to counteract the Lissandra later on.
Yep.
It's a bit of a throwback here. We haven't seen a lot of Kassadin picks this season overall, but
Yeah, if there's any team that can make me a believer in it, I guess it's going to be the ROX Tigers.
actually going to see the last time we saw a Kassadin in this league. There
imagine
haven't
it's
been that
quite
many
a while.
picks around the world of Kassadin, actually. So the last time we saw it, I mean, it's been played in China in the spring season. The last time we saw it was Mickey playing it against SK Telecom T1, and that did end up in a victory for the Africa Freaks. And Mickey, another player who you would expect to play it, and then it was Fly early on in the season when they were playing a 1-3-1 split push composition with Kassadin.
Okay.
So KT, but that was a long time ago now.
Yes, it was. All right, well, game one coming up here. Kongdoo Monster, ROX Tigers. Let's do it. Alrighty, well, getting the game looks like we have a little bit of a pause. Gorilla disconnecting, so we get to listen to this awesome ballad in the background.
All right, we get some heavy metal, some nice headbanging music right to start off. Smeb looks really unenthusiastic about this game.
Yeah, I mean, you can't ever feel too enthusiastic when you get into this game and then you immediately get a pause as well. So
I don't feel very enthusiastic, Achilleos. I do feel enthusiastic about this Kassadin pick. It always has been a pretty essential pick here for Kuro. He's definitely a known Kassadin player. It's just something that takes, obviously, some time to scale and isn't quite as, I would say, imbalanced as it has been in the past. But he's 11-8 on it all time. It's his 4th most played champion. So it's been around for him for quite some time.
Yep.
One of the old Kuro classics, like Syndra.
Yeah. I like this comp strictly because they got the Sivir on the side of Kongdoo Monster, and they have so many things that Sivir wants to block with the Spell Shield, and you really have to make her choose. What do I try to mitigate, and then what follows up? Because you have a Depth Charge, you have a Dredge Line, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, Kuro just trying to get on top of your face. Like, there's so much.
You're just going to clear it with volley, too. That's the sad part about this, is like it's so easy to clear with a Kassadin Q or a volley that it's not going to be easy here for the old Soul playing this Sivir, and now we're going to watch some highlights.
All right, game one coming up.
On your best behavior, turn your back on
All right, so clearly the crowd favorites here, ROX Tigers, not Kongdoo Monster. I'm trying to give them a little bit of extra confidence and credit, I suppose.
Sorry, you can give them your energy, but it won't save them from their fate.
Yeah.
The mauling at the hands of the ROX Tigers is likely about to commence. And how are they going to stop Kuro? They do have a lot of gank pressure pre-6. Crush on that Elise with this Lissandra means you can get the chain crowd control and try and shut him down before he gets that Rift Walk. But also worth noting that the Kassadin Q here can shut down TP attempts by the Lissandra. He's able to get in range, and then he can, of course, try and escape the TP himself. So both of our duo lanes will be starting with a nice little jungle start, and nobody trying to invade early this game. Bit of a rarity. Peanut.
Well, we'll see how long that holds up for him.
That's true. That's true. Peanut actually not going to be trying to do any pathing shenanigans this time. Looks like he will be going for an early full clear.
Yep, and we're going to get standard lanes in the bot side, so Ashe versus Sivir early on. We saw Ashe get tuned up a little bit recently, so her flurry stacks now degrade one at a time rather than all falling off at once.
Yeah, Prey also just such a noted Ashe player, bringing it really back into the meta last year, and it has been not seen particularly frequently this season, but the ROX Tigers have played it a few times here and there, and it's always been when you want to make picks and you want to skirmish, obviously you are rewarded by having that Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and Prey's accuracy, he will shoot it off screen, he will be merciless with it. It's going to be his 4th game on Ashe this season.
Yep. It's always nice as well to see when somebody shoots it through terrain, so you have very limited amount of time to try to react to it and get away. So Prey very adept on this Ashe.
And favoring, of course, the Essence Reaver Hurricane build for maximum utility and
Maximum slow.
Just maximum slow, and that's, of course, a great peeling tool for the Kindred or for the Kassadin.
Yep.
But this is pretty all in. Everybody going to be dashing right in on top of Kongdoo Monster. And if they can just wait it out here until this Ashe hits 6, they'll be in a good place to start making TP plays, start roaming all over the map, and really open this game up in a way that we know the ROX Tigers love to do. Peanut is here. He just started the crab, though. It's now a stare down between Crush and Peanut. He's going to find that ward with the Raptor buff.
He wants that mark. This is going to be Gorilla roaming up to help get that Scuttle Crab for them. So good little roam up and support, and they should be able to take that one away so they get that walking pile of money for themselves.
That's great, too, because once you have the lane pressure like that, it frees you up to go ahead and help out your jungler, drive back Crush.
Oh, wow, Smeb ripping through Hippo's health. He gets that shield, but...
No mana.
Yeah, no mana for Smeb. Should have ran Ignite Nautilus, damn.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, don't do that, please.
Yes, professional players do not play Ignite tops unless you are Trace and you are playing Quinn. If you are not Trace and you are not Trace playing Quinn, do not do that.
And I think very many of you are not Trace.
I think pretty much everyone is not Trace. And you're definitely not Trace if you're watching this stream.
Yeah.
Trace is probably on his way to the studio right now.
At least 5 out of 6 people watching this are not Trace. I think that was the researched figure.
Took a poll?
Yeah.
All right. Crush waiting here. This is their main attempt for a kill. Are they going to commit some flashes to
level
this?
6. Yep, he's just going to go ahead and flash away immediately. So, reading that there was an actual threat waiting in the bush. Burns the flash, but Kuro keeps himself safe. Not the worst of things, because he is level 5 getting ready to hit 6, so he's going to have that Rift Walk pretty soon. A little bit of a skirmish, though, down on this bot side. Guger trying to block as best as he can. It's going to be the flurry stacks used by Prey, and he fires down a hail of arrows onto Kongdoo Monster's bot lane. They take a bit of damage, so nice trade in favor of ROX Tigers. Meanwhile, Edge getting engaged on. Peanut still on the chase, but no buff to slow him out with. Don't think he's going to be able to get this catch, but he should be able to take away these Raptors.
Yeah, he just wants to run him around inside his own jungle, make sure that Kuro can pick up a little bit of extra CS right there, force the recall from Edge. Crush on the opposite side means Peanut will go ahead and get a little bit of counter jungling done. Sol and Guger waiting here. Still a little bit low. HP advantage over to the Tigers, even as they come up with a slight level advantage. And Peanut just waltzing right back out of the jungle. Takes that. Nope. Going to take the Krugs before he TPs. They spawned right as he was about to complete his recall.
Yeah, I don't think you want to dive this quite just yet.
No.
Don't want to. No Lamb's Respite, no tanky Trundle. Let's just
wait. Let's just wait for level 6.
Yep.
Or not.
Actually, yeah, aggressing onto Sol, coming on the sidelines. The Ignite is ticking. Guger with a nice shield to try to block as much as he can. Peanut goes in underneath the tower, takes a couple shots, but not going to go down. So Sol stays alive, but that's flash and heal expended.
Yeah, looks like they walked just a little bit too far up right there. Gorilla catching him out, using that Ignite, and Peanut still being around. They didn't expect him to still be in that bottom side jungle or to have waited for the Krugs to respawn. That's probably why they went aggressive in the bot side in the first place. But Peanut with the patience means that they get a little bit something extra right there and are going to punish this Sivir when it comes to the CS. BF Sword, the first pickup. Edge trying to clear out some pink wards on this top side of the map, and Kuro, he's made it to 6. Doesn't matter if he has flash anymore. Really hard for this Lissandra to get in on him without expending a flash of her own, and even then might not be good enough.
Yep. See, Kuro goes back. It's just a blasting one and a ruby crystal. Interesting first items. So not just going straight for the Catalyst of the Protector for Rod of Ages.
He's playing aggressive,
yeah.
Kilios. He's not afraid. He's not afraid of the Lissandra at 6 and Cocoon gank. He probably should be more afraid, honestly.
Well, you know who should be afraid? It's Hippo up at the top side. Depth charge comes out. He's just locked down underneath of his tower. Peanut here to follow up with the damage, and he's going to go down. Smeb taking the kill and barely taking any damage from that turret as well. So first blood over to the ROX Tigers. I don't think we're very surprised.
Yeah, Peanut just padding that first blood percentage stat, and that was a little bit bold considering he knew Crush was over at that blue buff trying to hand it over, but I guess he figured that he would be tanking that out. They quickly complete the kill, and Hippo goes down. So
yeah, if Hippo wasn't at like half HP at the start of that, I don't know if they would have gone for it quite as aggressively, but the opening was there and they took it.
Making it look easy.
Yep, 1,000 gold lead over to ROX Tigers. Edge trying to trade back against Kuro. Be pretty even at the moment. He's gone back twice already and still has a CS lead. So that's pretty good for Edge here.
Well,
but
expected.
Had to use the TP.
Expected though, right?
Mobility for the
Lysandra
early on.
You're also just going to use your Q to constantly harass that Kassadin. Doesn't abuse Lysandra's relatively short range this matchup. Even though Kassadin can tank a lot of that with the magic shield from his Q, it's still going to have some zoning problems with some of this CS. So an expected results, but it's all about that Kassadin and his consistent DPS in the late game. Coming out right here, and Prey and Gorilla continuing to farm their way up. Prey 6 now, so the action can begin. Soul has to have fast fingers with that spell shield.
Yep, 4 members roaming down around near this dragon pit, so just going to play it a little bit safely. No one going to go for dragon quite just yet. We saw some early ones yesterday. We saw about a 6-minute dragon, but most of the other ones were delayed until about 12 minutes, and I think as late as 17 as well. We had some really late ones.
Yeah, standard lane's producing late dragons, especially because of the way the bottom lane is played right now in these standard matchups. Usually you'll stagger your AD and support recalls, as we saw earlier, and the support will use the AD recall just to go clear out some wards, spend some time in the river, maybe threaten a gank on the mid lane like we saw Gorilla doing earlier. Wait for the wave to push back towards you, and then leave your AD carry under the turret, where the AD carry is going to be safe for your own recall. There we go. They're going to start going in.
Popped here. Gorilla going to get locked up by these concussive blows. Nice flash away will get him to safety. So does have to blow that one. Prey, of course, using his as well. So decent gank in the bot side, just using On the Hunt and getting 2 summoners for it.
Yeah, but Crush hasn't been able to follow up on these summoners being down. And without Souls being up too, there's going to be a smaller window where Soul and the rest of the Kongdoo monster duo lane will have a flash advantage.
Oh god, you know it was a nightmare when we had Kongdoo versus it was Soul and Soul. One on each team. That kind of sucks. That was just like, and Soul goes into the back line, he's jumping onto Soul, and I was like, oh god, this must sound so bad for somebody that's listening to like an audio only
That's right.
with no
I think we should
video.
make a new rule here at OGN. Players are not allowed to have names that are homonyms. That's not okay.
Yeah,
So the
wasn't fun.
The funniest one actually was, so back in the days of Champions in 2014, there was a team called MIG Blitz or MIG Blitz, right? And then there was the KT Bullets, right? But the problem is that if you say Blitz and Bullets with a Korean accent, they sound literally identical. So the Korean casters were complaining because when they played each other, they had effectively the same exact name, the teams.
That's really funny. I mean, the easiest way to fix that problem is just to have KT go back to being Finger Boom or whatever it was.
Yeah, Finger Boom, KT Finger Boom. Their temporary name several years back.
That will live on as legend.
In infamy, in esports infamy, that's for sure. You know, Kespa really hates when I mention that. Like, I've tweeted it sometimes, and Kespa has tweeted at me and said, please don't tweet that. And I was like, no, I'm still going to tweet it.
There's not much you can do to stop it. Hippo, though, stopping that gank with a nice ultimate away. Prey, very mistimed, quite surprising, and he's going to get locked down to the Frozen Tomb and fall. Googer finds the kill, so not quite who you want that going over to, but Kongdoo making good on that kill, and the uncharacteristic ultimate by Prey.
Yeah, that was really mistimed, actually. He certainly could have played that a little bit better. And about a half a second right there coming in. Nice TP ward placed down there by Crush, and then the follow-up. Oh, actually, you know what? That wasn't very mistimed at all, Achilles, because the hitbox is by the fletching of the arrow. So it was actually nearly perfect. Because remember, the tip of the arrow is not actually where the arrow's hitbox is. It's towards the back. And when it passed through that ward, it looked like it was just a tiny, tiny fraction of a second behind. So I'm sorry, Prey. I'm sorry I doubted your skills. That was also nearly an amazing arrow, but just a tiny bit too late.
That is going to harm ROX. Still very much in the lead, though, but First Dragon does go over to Kongdoo Monster. They're going to trade out for the Rift Herald. And we can see that bottom tower and the top tower on the side of Kongdoo Monster has fallen. So still just about 1,000 gold separating these teams. And I'll admit, it's less of a deficit than I was expecting at 13 minutes here.
Well, on average, the ROX Tigers are about 1,400 gold up at 15 minutes into the game. So we'll see where they stand at that juncture. But for them, at least, wanting the Kassadin to scale here is priority number one. They got the faster Rod of Ages onto the Kassadin compared to Edge's Lissandra. Kuro did have to cancel his TP on that last little engagement, but he will have it up just a hair sooner. And Hippo just losing that 1v1 extremely hard to Smeb after that first blood came through means that he doesn't have a turret anymore. So this Nautilus is going to be pretty darn strong, and he doesn't have to worry so much about building magic resist in this game. He can pretty much just build armor items and be a-okay, because as long as he has HP, he's going to be able to survive Edge's damage, and he's very unlikely to be ulted by Edge for the big burst in the first place.
Yeah, he'd have to be really out of place for him to be the primary target for a Frozen Tomb.
Yeah, and Soul, in that way, Kongdoo...
Soul coming over here to try to ward this one. Nice pillar. He has the flash away pop on the hunt. Can he get out? No, he cannot. Peanut finds the kill. Cougar now on the run. Red buff slowing up. Crush throws out the cocoon. It's going to find Gorilla. Here comes the arrow, but they juke it out. So it does not connect. Just like that, Soul goes down.
Trying to set up for a siege in the mid lane right now. And look, Peanut's still in there. He's got his ult.
Still going deep. It's going to be the Lamb's Respite coming down. It's going to be up in the air for Crush. Comes back. Cougar going to get popped as he goes underneath of the tower. So flash down for him as well. Peanut finds his second kill of the game. Just like that, ROX are starting to blow this game wide open.
Yeah, I remember St. Vicious complaining a couple days ago on Twitter that nobody should allow Peanut to have Kindred, and these are the reasons why. It's just this unrelenting aggression. Kuro going into a Lich Bane as his second item just to get that burst down with the Rift Walk once he gets into melee range. And you can play like that if you are the ROX Tigers. As long as you have that Lamb's Respite, they have to retreat. And a nice smooth kill there from Peanut. He does go up to 200 or 2-0-1. And what's amazing, by the way, about Peanut this season is as a jungler, he is number 4 in the league in kills at 120. Okay? To put that in perspective, he is above every AD carry and mid laner besides Kramer, Kuro, and Songyun. He's above Prey, his own teammate. And they've played the second fewest number of games. Coming into this game right now, the ROX Tigers have 32 games played, and SK Telecom have 30 because of their break at IEM. But Peanut showing up big time in terms of kills, even against players that have played far more games than him. So it's been pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, it just comes down to that question, like, if you take the Kindred away, you're giving something else over to the ROX Tigers. There's almost no way to perfectly ban and draft against these guys because they can play so much so well.
I think that's true, but also the way that Samsung beat the ROX Tigers, a lot of it was, I think, putting Peanut onto that Gragas. When Ambition was taking away the Kindred and you could ban the Graves or something like that, ban the Nidalee. So I wonder why more teams haven't done that, because yes, they can play a lot of other champions, and yes, they did try and play Varus AD carry, which arguably was a terrible draft that cost them game number 2. But at the same time, that's the only way anybody's been able to beat them so far. So I wonder why we don't see a little bit more of that style of play.
Not sure. It's like SKT, we see them ban out the Lulu because they know that that's the way to beat him. Koro, though, getting aggressed on. Nice flash away from the Glacial Fissure will keep himself alive. Good aggression from Kongdoo Monster's bot lane, but unable to find the kill. And Crush can't get in there in time.
Big overcommitment. Kindred's already on the bottom side of the map. Trundle's just going to recall to try and defend this turret. They should still have the Force Pulse to clear out this wave, perhaps. But this is going to be a little bit of a base race here, but this is a base race that will be won by the ROX Tigers. Going to go really deep and try and chase onto Hippo.
Arrow onto Hippo, and there's nowhere for him to go. No flash available as he's already used it, and he goes down. Gorilla going to find that kill. And not much of a wave here, but they're still pretty tanky, so they'll be able to burn through that tower.
Well, I'm really surprised Kindred went back into the jungle to start farming right there. There's a scenario here where Kongdoo actually pushes into the inhibitor, and instead they just choose to recall and trade objectives. I think maybe they could have gotten a little bit more for that with only the Kassadin down on that bottom side to defend, because Gorilla did not end up completing his recall. So still a favorable trade for the ROX Tigers, but I think that Kongdoo could have gone a little bit harder.
Yep, so an overcommitment onto Kuro and then an undercommitment into the base.
Yeah,
Awesome. Hippo,
nice.
Big whiff on the ultimate. Nice dredge line still slows him up into the depth charge. And that's all she wrote as that arrow connects.
Yeah, you look at this. They had already taken the turret right there on the bottom side, and they knew that
Yeah, the tier
Hippo,
2 hadn't even gone down yet.
they had used a lot of resources on Hippo. I think you could have made a play for a base race right there if you're Kongdoo Monster. And
Trying to pinch on Kuro again. Edge coming around the side. Frozen Tomb, of course, is available. Goes in with the claw. Gets in range. Locks him down. He's going to fall. Gusset blows to stun him up right at the end. Crushes like, I'm here too. Throws at the cocoon, but not going to get the assist. But a kill goes over to Soul.
yeah, using the Hawk Shot just to go ahead and check the enemy jungle. Kongdoo, are they going to commit to this? They're only 2 members of the Tigers. ROX.
They're trying to pinch on a Gorilla and Prey.
Yeah, they're going to have to retreat out of the mid lane. Good timing, though. Trying to get the tier 2. Now, are they going to contest this dragon? It looks like they're going to head over to the enemy blue buff instead. Go ahead and give up the second dragon of the game to Kongdoo, and then just continue to push the waves in the meantime. Kuro has his TP. They could make a TP play.
Yeah,
they're going
Gorilla
to.
Gonna get caught. Crush gets popped in the air by the depth charge. Nice dodge. Arrow not going to land yet again, but he gets slowed out by that cone from the Ash. And he is going to go down. Prey finds the kill, so they still answer with a kill off of that dragon take.
Yeah, couldn't retreat quite fast enough. They do get a couple ultimates out of the Tigers, but that's not going to be too helpful with this kind of gold deficit already experienced by Kongdoo Monster, and then they're also going to push down onto yet another turret.
Yep. And getting those ultimates, there's still an immense amount of CC on the side of ROX Tigers, so not having that depth charge or the crystal arrow at this moment is not going to hurt them very much. You can see still force their way onto this tier 1 and it goes down, so just stretching that gold lead even further, almost to 5,000 now at 20.5 minutes.
And now come the problems that Kongdoo will have with this split push. They're going to be able to 1-3-1 with the Nautilus and the Kassadin, and especially with the Sunfire Cape first on Nautilus combined with the Riptide, he actually is going to be able to clear out these minion waves pretty quickly. And with Kassadin building the Lichbane second, really big threat for the 1v1, all in, or just a turret right here. Edge has a lot of crowd control to try and stop him, but probably cannot win a 1v1 against the Kassadin right now, and especially not if and when Kuro buys the QSS, which I assume will be his next item.
Yeah, more than likely his death was caused by that Frozen Tomb from Edge. See those? Sated just coming in for Peanut at 21 minutes. So well timed. Not the fastest we've seen, but still very quick and reliable by Peanut. TP coming in on the backside here from Hippo, though. Gets the pitch in on the Gorilla, stunts him into the wall. Still very tanky Trundle, however. Ash Arrow comes out, locks down Cougar, who goes down. Prey finds the kill. They're straight onto Hippo. He's just getting slowed constantly. A double kill now going over to Prey. Can it be a triple? It will be the triple. And Edge falls, and just like that, Kongdoo Monster trying to initiate, getting completely annihilated.
Holy cow, just the team fighting from the ROX Tigers right there. Kongdoo a bit filing in one by one to try and actually engage them right in their own side of the jungle, but the ROX Tigers absolutely ready for that, using all of their CC just to melt through everybody. Peanut didn't even have to use his ultimate in that fight, and it was still a clean ace.
They just piled onto Gorilla at the start of that fight. He's still a very tanky Trundle.
And look at this, TP immediately. I mean, Hippo doesn't get the stun either on a Gorilla, so the heroic charge a little bit wasted. Googer's going to block the Ash Arrow, but look at how many auto attacks Prey's going to be getting right here. And Smeb is just wandering forward, meticulously auto attacking every member of Kongdoo, getting those little micro stuns down and making sure no one can escape from the mass CC, the slow from the Force Pulse and the volley. And that's probably going to be the end of this game. 22 minutes, the Baron, 10-2 the kills, and ROX pushing forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty much nothing that Kongdoo can do to find any way back into this game. Arrow not going to land, doesn't really matter at this point. They can just continue forcing up this tier 2 in the bot side, like they're going to be the next thing that goes down as the wave's getting ready to crash. And ROX looking very methodical, going to go ahead and finish this game out likely before the 26-minute mark.
Yes, looking very ROX-like, how aggressive they have been, and
Yep.
Hippo just getting knocked around.
Yep, half HP already. Gorilla coming around the backside. TP coming in from edge. They're going to try to deter this. The turret's almost going down. They lock down Gorilla. Lamb's respite to keep him alive. Peanut very nice as he comes in. Turret falls. Cougar gets grabbed up by the dredge line. He's going to go down. Peanut finds the kill. Kuro going in. Soul almost going down. Nice stun into the wall from Hippo. Does finish off Kuro, but I think he's going to pay for it with the rest of his life and with the life of his base as it's crumbling around them, wave crashing, and this should be the first inhibitor tower going down as well.
Yeah, they're going to try and see how much they can push this, but realistically with death timers the way they are, they probably can't finish the game right now, and Prey has to be careful about that static shiv.
Yep.
Taking a big chunk of damage, so they get one inhibitor for that. Kuro perhaps getting a little bit too deep right there, but Hippo actually just queuing up the heroic charge and punishing him for it when he comes in. Now they try and go onto Gorilla, but team fighting for the Tigers and awareness is beautiful. Peanut's already here around the outside. The turret pops down that Lamb's respite, and obviously that's going to do a world of good here for the ROX Tigers. Kongdoo have to retreat as the turret falls, and then watch Kuro right here. He's going to come right back in. Great turnaround from Hippo. Otherwise, that could have been the end of the game.
Yeah.
And flash forward for Smeb to get the Nautilus passive stun and mop him up as well. So one inhibitor, the extent of the damage, but 12,000, still the gold lead. And it will take really a miracle for Kongdoo to win this one.
An incredible miracle.
Yes, it will, but incredible miracle is Longzhu. So it's not here today,
and that's
unfortunately.
that is not the miracle you want, it's Longzhu.
I do find it amusing that, you see this team
yeah,
fight.
Prey gonna get engaged on, taking a lot of damage. Actually goes down. Crush gonna be able to finish him off. Peanut cutting around and skirting around the edges of this fight, just putting out as much damage as he can. Already takes down Cougar. It's gonna be Edge falling as well. Peanut still staying alive. Finally goes down to that boomerang blade, but it's all too late. The rest of Kongdoo have fallen. It's Kuro, Gorilla, and Smeb here to finish off this inhibitor. We'll see how much damage they can do on the base. 30 seconds pretty much on anybody that is a key member of Kongdoo Monster. They should at least be able to get a couple of these Nexus towers, if not the entire game.
Yeah, they're just going to push on through right now. They don't even have those
Yeah,
super minions. They don't even need them.
I just realized there's a Lich Bane on Kuro, so it's going to make very quick work of these turrets. So first one going to fall. Cougar comes up. You got nothing, man. It's whatever. The game's going to end. That's going to be game one going over the ROX Tigers, just under 26 minutes.
Yeah, 25 minutes and probably, maybe we'll hit 26 minutes. It's going a little bit slower than we might have thought. But
Nope. Well,
Spawn's going to come up here for Edge and Crush. It's just not enough. And a hair over 26 minutes.
26:01.
That game will end. Even in spite of some misplays by the ROX Tigers, they show their level of aggression, their rotations and ability to take these turrets once again, and Peanut, especially with that Kindred, just an insane threat.
yeah. Kongdoo moving over to the red side. Not sure what is going to happen with their draft this time through, because the Kassadin wasn't a huge proponent. I mean, it was good. It was consistent, doing damage onto the back line, but it never wowed us. It was never this massive play from Kuro. So not sure if they're going to try to ban that away from him.
No,
But the Kindred, definitely something that needs to be visited by Kongdoo Monster.
I think you just can't let him have it anymore. Sure, you want to ban a lot against the ROX Tigers, but I think that with the way Peanut plays the early game and his ability to snowball his entire team on these high damage junglers, you just have to get him out of his hands and hope you can slow down the pace of the Tigers until you get to a point in the late game where you can maybe get a pick and get a Baron and win the game when the death timers are super long. I don't think you should allow the ROX Tigers to play this accelerated, heavy damage jungle play style that has defined them this season.
Yeah. Well, it's just rough stuff for Kongdoo. We'll see if they're able to make any changes when we come back for game two.